Hello everybody, Adele and April here from Just Say Scrap, and today we are actually going to be showing you how we are condensing our Stampin' Up! Stamps, die cuts, and embossing folders. We actually don't show you how to add the embossing folders to these exact sets, but you definitely can add them into the bundles that we are making. So make sure you check out our video to see exactly what we do and how to make our stamps and thin cuts skinnier. All right, so I'm sorry if it's a little dark. We are in a different working space today because we're cleaning, but Mom and I are actually changing over our stamp sets from Stampin' Up! Because this is a little too big for us. We don't have enough space really for our DVD cases here. So we have actually taken this completely apart. This one was the Country Birds and made it into this. So we want to kind of show you how you can save all that space. So we're going to start with our country flowers. We actually purchased these things on Amazon. And so I can put them in the link below. But what they are is it's basically like a magnetic sheet with the orange on the back. We actually pulled it off. It makes it a little bit less or more flimsy, so we probably won't do that for the rest. That was just an experiment to see if it pulled off, if it was adhesive or what it was. But it was a little bit of a failed experiment, but that's okay. So then we have it like this, right? So then this container is what the die cut actually came in. And so I'll show you another one. This is another one. So they come like this, right? They've got this plastic bag, which I save and reuse because, you know, you can always send a card and something like that. We like to reuse and recycle here. So it comes like this in its case, and then when you open it, remember, it's on that sticky sheet. So what we've done here, those are all the little thin cuts we did the other day. What we did here was we took this and we actually cut this down to size because it's a little big. So we cut it down to 5 inches because that's what the Stampin' Up! Things require. The only thing is I was debating. I like how we can see the words here, but it might be easier for the die cuts to be on the opposite side. So when you're actually trying to close this, they don't catch the die cuts. So I think what we're going to end up doing is rotating this so the die cuts are on the flat side. And then you have the opening on the front, which really does not make a big difference at all. So actually, let's show you how to do it that way. So, right? Okay, so we've got the die cuts. You just got to be careful that you don't catch them because now they're not glued to anything. So now they're just on that magnetic sheet. We're going to take our stamp and then we're just going to pop. See there how there's like a little plastic sheet? We just pop that out so the DVD case can go bye-bye. And then I just took a cutter. We made that down to scale. So we're not, we just don't want to. It's not what we like to do. We're not going to take that off of the plastic sheets. I actually prefer to have these on the plastic sheets. But having our, what is this? Images behind it makes it easier so we can kind of just see what that looks like. So then that one's going to just slide right on top of there. So our images, even if we pull out the stamps, are right there. And then for our own reference, Mom uses the numbers. So we actually have like a whole system on our computer that we can refer back to like different categories our stamps in. So that's why we're going to have this in the front. And then this is the Stampin' Up! Number. So Close to My Heart used to have that Z number on the top. This is what Stampin' Up! Uses, this image, that barcode, thank you, down there. So then we're just going to slide that in here. Like that, and look how nice that makes it. So Stampin' Up! Has actually provided everything that you need for this, minus those magnetic sheets, and now these two are skinnier than one would have been. See the big difference there? So that's huge to us. That makes a difference in how we store. I know people do like looking at this because then they have like the images and stuff, like you can see it, but that's just not something that works for us. So we are going to do it this way. I do want to show you one more. This is actually the citrus bloom. This one is a little bit different because it is a polymer. So we haven't yet done this to transfer these over.
But there is a way to do it. And this is like, it's like a cling. So this top sheet actually comes off and it clings onto here, right? This will also, I think, work the same way as the other ones that we're doing. So let's take this off and cut this down. People have been asking also about the clings versus the polymer. That was one of our biggest questions, like what's the difference, like all that jazz. They actually say that the cling stamps, you can get more detail with them because these are rubber. They're not polymer. So that is one of the big things that people have said. But let's get this out. And this is the right die cut, right? Yes, there we go. All right, so do you want to get me one of those magnetic sheets?
And this time we're not going to pull it apart.
No, I'm not going to pull it apart. And then I'm just popping this off. Do try to be careful. The glue is pretty thick when you are pulling those off. I think I need 2 of them. Yes. We're going to cut this down, like I said. This is going to get cut to size. So this is going to be 5 inches now. And it is a lot thicker if you leave that paper backing on.
And when you take them off, you might want to bend the paper instead of trying to just pull up the
die.
The die.
I agree. All right, so that one fits nicely on there. Oh, I have to cut this.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, every time you get a new company, a new style of something, you gotta figure it out, right? Mm-hmm. And I think this is how we've decided to figure this one out. And also, I mean, if you don't want to do a magnetic sheet and you like this, they will become looser once you use them a little bit more. I find when they first pop off, they are a little bit tougher. I was more afraid the first one I did because I was afraid I was going to break the die. They are pretty thick, so I don't think you're going to have that issue. But just showing you can be a little bit more aggressive with them. All right, so how we've decided, remember, we're going to put these towards the back. They are a little thicker, so I might have to cut them down a little bit. But nope, those slid in nicely. Polymer stamp is going to be what's tough. So let's actually do this with you guys. Let's figure out how to get these on here. Why not, right? All right, so we're going to pop the polymer out, right? And then, so this little thing comes off, that white piece. This little piggy went to the market. This little piggy went home. Oh, there's, I forgot, you can pop it in the middle. All right, I'll show you on the next one.
See, we're learning just along with you guys.
Yeah. I've read something and I couldn't remember what I read. But that is what I read. All right, there we go. So now that will cling to a stamp. And so something like this is going to be a little bit more difficult in here, right? Because now it's going to be like with this, you normally would just stick it here and it would catch. And then we can move it to our blocks. But we'll have to figure that out. All right, so there's a backing right there to make your life easier.
I knew you'd figure it out.
Thanks. Doesn't that make life so much easier? And there you go. So that's how you get those. These are thicker, so this might be a set that you end up keeping inside of your thingy, or I actually kind of like how that looks.
So this is the magnetic side. This is the orange side that we had peeled off the first time, but they do cling to this. So if you wanted to use that, because it's basically the same thing as putting it on the plastic.
All right, so I want to give some insight just because some of these are a little bit harder. So that's the hello, but this is like the flower. So the way that these images are peeling off is you're peeling off This part is the cling part that's going to go onto your actual block or anything like that, right? So that's what's going to be facing you. So the image, it actually has to match up with your stamp that way. So the part that you pull off of that thing is the cling part. So that's going to be the part that's facing your block.
Yes.
So you want to make sure that you're lining, when that's facing you and the stamp is facing down,
It's the opposite way.
they need to be, see how that's perfect? Like that matches?
Yes.
I was having some issues with the other flower because I wasn't doing that in that way. So this is hello. Obviously I know hello is facing down and the right way. So when I pull this off, this hello, it says hello, right?
Yeah.
Hello. And that's going to be facing me as if I'm stamping that image down on the ground. So that way when I now stamp this, that's clung and it's in the right way. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, perfect. And then what we were actually experimenting with for a little bit was we took the little backing of the die cut thing that we were talking about that we transferred everything onto. So that's the die cut. And we used the back of it, the orange part, and as a cling area. So now what we're going to do when we put this into, these actually came with the magnetic sheets. So this we're now going to put in here because it's a little bit bigger and that fits our cling stamps perfectly. And then we can put this image right in here, even though they're not in the exact spots. But that works like that. These are a little bit more flimsy than the Stampin' Up! Ones. But we now have our thin cuts and our polymer stamps. Or our, sorry, cling stamps in the same thing. So it's a little thicker because they are just, in general, thicker. But that is how we are going to end up storing ours. Yay! And then just like everything else, these are extra die cuts that I had already cut out of the country flowers. And we'll just stick these all back in there for when we want to use the images. Oops, I dropped some. So, yay. Just like we do with Close to My Heart. Now they're in there for next time we want to use them. Isn't that cool?
Mm-hmm.
So that is how we are going to be doing our organizing of the Stampin' Up! Stuff. So if you have any questions, let us know. And we've got DVD cases for sale now. Okay, that's it. Bye.
And that's Technique Tuesday. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, please let us know in the comments below. But we hope that you enjoyed how we changed up our stamp and our thin cuts and made the packaging a little bit easier. If you would like to purchase the magnetic strips and the plastic that we used, we do have our Amazon associate link listed below, so you can always just use that link and purchase them. Just know that we will get a small commission from Amazon if you do use our link. So, all right, we will see you next Tuesday, and if you would like to join us for our virtual weekend happening June 20th to the 23rd, you can still sign up and your box will still get to you in time. All right, we'll see you next week. Bye!